Hello everyone, I'm Trevor Noah. We're about to dive into a topic that's deeply unsettling but incredibly important: racism. This isn't about pointing fingers or shaming countries, but about sparking honest conversations and understanding the realities many people face. This list is based on a combination of factors, from historical context and systemic inequalities to reported hate crimes and discriminatory policies. Now, let's shine a light on some dark corners of the world. We begin with the land of the free and the home of the brave, a country built on the ideal of equality, yet grappling with a starkly different reality. From the streets of Ferguson to the halls of Congress, racial tensions in the US have reached a boiling point. We've seen countless instances of police brutality against people of color, and the rise of white supremacy is a chilling reminder of the deep-seated prejudice that persists. While some steps have been taken to address these issues, the road to true equality remains long and arduous. Next, we travel to South Africa, a nation forever marked by the horrors of apartheid. While the system of racial segregation was officially dismantled in 1994, its legacy continues to cast a long shadow. Deep economic disparities persist along racial lines, and access to quality education and healthcare remains unequal. Despite efforts to promote reconciliation and unity, South Africa still struggles to heal the wounds of its past. Welcome back to Unveiling Shadows. This time we're heading to Brazil, the land of samba, soccer, and sadly, some seriously ingrained racism. You see, while Brazil boasts a diverse population, it's got a dark history of slavery and oppression. We're talking centuries of discrimination against Afro-Brazilians, indigenous communities, and other minorities. And the crazy thing is, this isn't ancient history, folks. We're going to hear first-hand accounts from Brazilians facing prejudice and inequality on a daily basis. It's a stark reminder that even in a place known for its vibrant culture, racism lurks beneath the surface. Next up, we're traveling to the largest country in the world, Russia. Now, Russia might like to portray itself as a bastion of cultural diversity, but let's be real. The reality for many minorities there is far from rosy. We're talking about widespread discrimination against people from Central Asia, the Caucasus and Africa. And don't even get me started on the treatment of LGBTQ+ individuals. The sad truth is, Russia's human rights record leaves a lot to be desired. But here's the thing about racism: it doesn't exist in a vacuum. The international community has a responsibility to hold countries accountable, and Russia is no exception. G'day, mates. We've landed in Australia, a country famous for its stunning landscapes, laid-back lifestyle, and a really dark past. Now, before you accuse me of throwing another shrimp on the barbie, hear me out. Australia's history is deeply intertwined with the mistreatment and oppression of its indigenous population, the Aboriginal Australians. We're talking about centuries of systemic discrimination, dispossession of land, and cultural genocide. And the sad part is, the effects of this troubled past are still felt today. All right, folks, we're moving on to India, the land of Bollywood, and unfortunately a whole lot of division. Now, India's got a history as complex as its curry, and part of that complexity is a deeply ingrained caste system. But beyond that, we see discrimination based on religion, ethnicity, you name it. We're talking about hate crimes, folks, cold, hard statistics that paint a grim picture. It's a nation grappling with prejudice, and the fight for equality is far from over. Next up, we're crossing continents to France, the land of love, croissants, and apparently a complicated relationship with race. You see, France likes to think of itself as colorblind, but let's be real. Ignoring race doesn't make racism disappear. And the media, oh, they play a big role in this. From how they portray minorities to the lack of diversity on screen, the French media has a lot to answer for. It's time for France to take a long, hard look in the mirror and confront its own biases. The streets have seen protests, voices demanding change, and a call for true equality. The government too must step up and address these deep-rooted issues. Education plays a crucial role in shaping the future, and it's time to teach the real history. Change starts at home in conversations around the dinner table. France, it's time to live up to your motto, Liberté, Égalité, Fraternité. Germany, a nation forever marked by its history, is trying to move forward, but the ghosts of the past still linger. We've seen a rise in anti-immigrant sentiment, and let's not forget the neo-Nazi groups still operating in the shadows. But amidst the darkness, there's hope. Germans are taking to the streets, protesting against racism and demanding change. They're confronting their history head-on, acknowledging the past to build a better future. It's a reminder that the fight against racism is a marathon, not a sprint. The journey is long, but the collective effort is strong. Embracing diversity, they strive to create a more inclusive society for all. So, we're heading over to China now, a country that loves its harmony, you know, like a perfectly tuned symphony orchestra where everyone plays the same note. But what about the folks who don't fit the mold, the ones playing a different tune? We're talking about the Uyghurs, the Tibetans, even people from Gasp, Africa. Turns out even in a country with billions of people, fitting in can be pretty tough if you're a little different. Let's just say China's got some work to do when it comes to embracing diversity. The government has been criticised for its treatment of minorities, with protests and international outcry becoming more frequent. However, there are also efforts by some to bridge the gap, with community initiatives aiming to promote understanding and acceptance. It's a complex issue, but there's hope for a more inclusive future. Next stop, Japan, the land of the rising sun, bullet trains and, well, let's just say a complicated history with anyone who isn't, you know, Japanese. From the Burakumin, who face historical discrimination, to the struggles of Korean residents, Japan's got its own set of issues. The good news, they're starting to have the tough conversations, but let's be real, change doesn't happen overnight, especially when you're trying to change centuries of deeply ingrained attitudes. However, there's hope. The younger generation is pushing for a more inclusive society, challenging the old norms and advocating for equality. It's a slow process, but with each step, Japan moves closer to embracing its diversity. Look, this isn't about pointing fingers or crowning the most racist country. It's about starting a conversation, shining a light on the ugly truth that racism exists everywhere. So talk to your friends, your family, that weird uncle at Thanksgiving. Let's learn from each other, understand each other, and maybe, just maybe, build a world where everyone feels like they belong. And a huge shout out to Trevor Noah for lending his voice to this important topic. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos that make you think, laugh, and hopefully inspire you to make a difference. Remember, change starts with a single conversation. Let's make those conversations count.